All right, are you ready for this? Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Sandra Smith, and joining us today is Ainsley Earhart, Fox & Friends co-host, Lara Trump, host of My View with Lara Trump, Rachel Campos-Duffy, Fox & Friends weekend co-host, and Fox Noticias anchor, and Joe Concha, Fox News contributor, is here. All right, here we go. We begin with a major U.S. trading partner coming to the table today. President Trump writing on Truth Social, quote, Japan is coming in today to negotiate tariffs, the cost of military support, and trade fairness. I will attend the meeting along with Treasury and Commerce secretaries. Hopefully something can be worked out, which is good, great for Japan and the USA. The negotiations with Japan mark some of the first trade talks since President Trump implemented his sweeping tariff plans. At least 75 other countries have also reached out. But California Governor Gavin Newsom says he's taking Trump to court over these tariffs.
Today, I announced a lawsuit on behalf of the state of California suing the Trump administration. California is the largest manufacturing state in our union, one of the largest trading partners around the globe. No state will be impacted more than the state of California as it relates to the unilateral authority that's being asserted by the Trump administration to impose the largest tax increase in modern American history.
All right, so Rachel, I mean, he is talking about California. I mean, this is one of the largest economies in the world. There's a lot at stake here. Will he get anywhere with this, and will other states follow suit?
Well, one of the things about Gavin Newsom that we all know is that he's a very calculated politician. But I'm scratching my head. Does he want to make Japan great again? Does he want to make the globalist elites great again? I can't imagine, filing a lawsuit against my own country trying to fix a system that's rigged against your own country. It's just, it's political insanity. One note, I know you want to get everybody else's thoughts. Amazing, Donald Trump saying, I'm going to sit in on these meetings. This is a man with a work ethic that is so beyond, but also he's not leaving this to chance. This is his idea. He's been calling for tariffs specifically against Japan since the 80s, and so here he is in this moment on the second term. He's going to sit in on these negotiations. He's determined to do this. By the way, I asked him in my interview with him if he wanted to make tariffs a replacement for the income tax, to which he said yes.
Wow. He said, no one's asked me that. All these scholars have not even asked me that. So that was a great interview.
I'm an ASU grad, so is Joe Concha. So no, not. Go Arizona State.
Isn't that the External Revenue Service? Isn't that part of what they're going to be doing for us?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have more on that interview in just a moment. But Lara, I mean, this is the president choosing to personally sit in on these meetings. Why is this so important to him?
Well, this is what Donald Trump does best. He has been a negotiator his entire life. You have to remember, he was a businessman, and he got some of the greatest deals in the world done while he was the president and CEO of the Trump Organization. Look, the power that the president of the United States has it cannot be overstated. The fact that he is going to sit in that will mean that there will be a lot of pressure on Japan to come to the table and really kind of try to meet them in the middle here. I think it's amazing, though, to see Gavin Newsom, who seems to be on the wrong side of every single issue yet again. And it sounds like his voice was needing maybe a little bit of rest. Maybe instead of talking and doing these lawsuits, he should just take a break and take a step back. Would probably be better for California as a whole.
All right, I'm getting so excited here. I'm dropping papers. So, Joe, talk to us about this. I mean, could this set the stage for productive talks going forward with other countries?
That's the thing here. I see a long game forming. 2 weeks ago, we saw volatility, and we saw a stock market where people were starting to get nervous, obviously, about their 401ks. That has stabilized. Now we're starting to see results. We've heard about 150 countries coming to talk to the president. And let's say this scenario plays out for a moment. United States gets to 0 for 0 tariffs, not just with Japan, but with Europe, but with India, but with countries like Vietnam, for example. Then all those countries say, OK, we're all going to go to China, along with the U.S., and say, all right, unless you go to 0 for 0 as well, we, Europe, Japan, Vietnam, we're going to slap 145% tariffs on you. China will have no choice but to negotiate. And Democrats, if that scenario plays out, and we have a massive free trade zone, obviously costs come down in this country, Democrats are going to be like in Sherwood Forest wilderness for a very long time because they came out in opposition of this, something that they used to support, by the way. So if Donald Trump's biggest bet of his life, and that's what these tariffs are, ends up playing out, 2026 and 2028, it's going to be ugly for the Democratic Party.
You know, Ainsley, I mean, I know you have been talking to companies on Fox and Friends and business owners who, some of them support these tariffs, some are eager to level the playing field in this country, and there are others who will directly be impacted by this. You have to imagine that Gavin Newsom is hearing from them and answering to them. Does he have a choice?
You know, Gavin Newsom, I don't think this is when I hear him talk, blah, 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 blah. This is not going to matter. We're dealing with Donald Trump here. He is so powerful. This is a huge win for him. Every morning, we're saying the same thing on all of our shows. We're saying we need some wins. We need some deals. We need some 0-0 deals. And that's what we'll probably get. I'm confident we'll get that today. Japan's not, they're no dummy. They know that we help them with their military. That's why they're not reciprocating tariffs on us. And so they're coming to the table, and they're the first ones. And they have said, the Tokyo prime minister or leader, negotiation leader said, if you're the first one to the table, it's more advantageous. And it is, because this is going to be the headlines. The stock market's going to do better if there's a deal. And Donald Trump is opening the doors for other countries to do the same. And that way, China will be isolated. It's a huge win.
Very calm markets today. It seems like with this pause, they've been able to sort of collect their thoughts, the markets, and watch where all this goes next. Meantime, as I mentioned, Rachel has this exclusive interview with President Trump on Fox Noticias, where she asked him about these tariffs. Listen.
¿Las aranceles van a reemplazar el income tax?
You know, you're the only one that's asked me that. Oh, I deal with all these big financial geniuses. Nobody ever. There is a chance that the money from tariffs could be so great that it would replace. You know, in the old days, about 1870 to 1913, the tariffs were the only form of money. And that's when our nation was relatively the richest. We were the richest.
All right, I reach up and high-five you for the question, Rachel, because that is on the mind of a lot of people right now. So what did you make of the answer?
I mean, I just can't imagine. Like, we just had tax day. Imagine if we didn't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Talk about those midterms. They would be, or the next election. They would be amazing. He sees tariffs as another form of revenue. In the interview, I said, well, how much are they bringing in? And he was like, billions and billions every single day. And so we'll see. But this is a man who is negotiating at all moments on our behalf. It's just really remarkable how much time he has put into this. As you said, Joe, he's betting everything on this, but he's also had a lot of time to think about it.
I just want to know where the orange outfit came from. That was tremendous. Everybody's asking about it on set. Sorry, Sandra.
Thank you.
And we loved your attempt to get him to speak Spanish.
Yeah. Yes. You know, so on my Instagram, by the way, I juxtapose his pronunciation, which is really quite good, next to Si se puede from Jill Biden. Remember, she tried to say Si se puede? Yes, you can. So even his pronunciation's better.
That was so funny. She told him to say, make America great again. And how do you say it?
Haz América grande otra vez.
He said, America grande.
Close enough.
It's the first time I've never heard my father-in-law speak another language until you got him to do it, Rachel. So kudos to you. I thought it was great.
Could have done it in 5.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. All right. Part 2 of Rachel's exclusive sit-down with President Trump today, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Fox Noticias. Rachel, thank you so much. We will all be tuning in for that.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.